Today, I'm going to show you how I make millions of dollars with my agency by getting clients from YouTube. This is one of the most powerful ways to grow your business. Doesn't cost you anything, it's completely free. I'm going to break down all the systems, SOPs, tutorials, and processes inside this video. And this is exactly how I can publish content every single day, grow my agency, run a team of over 50 people in my agency, run a coaching mastermind with over 100 people. And you can see that on my SEO YouTube channel, we reach nearly 800,000 people per month. This drives more agency clients to our business. If we get more agency clients, our agency grows. And it's exactly how we can scale so fast and so quickly without spending any money on advertising. It's absolutely insane. Now, obviously, we use other channels to grow, but YouTube is probably the biggest growth engine for our agency. We get clients booking in sales calls pretty much every single day. If you're running an agency or you're trying to get more clients or you're a freelancer and you want more clients, I can tell you now that YouTube is one of the most powerful tools you can ever use if you're willing to put in the work. So I'm going to break down my 3-week YouTube course that basically takes you from scratch with no experience about YouTube to actually growing a channel, being able to create content every single day. I'm going to break down my whole setup. And if you want to learn exactly how we get millions of dollars worth of agency clients, then this course is for you. It's completely free, like I say, and we'll jump straight into it. All right, so welcome to the first video in this YouTube course. And this is week 1 of the strategy. So it's going to be a bit more theoretical right now, but that's because if you plan up front, you're going to save a lot of time and you'll make sure this works a lot better. So what I'm going to get into here is, first of all, is YouTube actually right for you? Because here's the thing. This could save you hundreds of hours. I have seen some people who have had thousands and thousands of subscribers, but they don't make any money off YouTube simply because they have a poor monetization method. And here's the thing, right? It doesn't matter how many subscribers you get, it's how much money you make that counts. So you're not here to get famous unless you really are. But I think most people watching this are just here to grow their business. You're here to make money, which means that you don't need to worry about subscribers. You don't need to worry about views. You could have a channel that only gets, like, say, 300 views and still make a lot of money per video. The best businesses that work with YouTube are typically agencies, so marketing agencies, service businesses. I mean, for example, so if you sell something random like logo design or SEO or marketing services, these agency services work really well. I mean, it could be even accountancy and things like that, gardening businesses, etc. And then the benefits. Now, the thing that I would say, if you're just doing this for ad revenue, if you just want to make some ad revenue off YouTube, you're not going to make a lot of money, I would say. I mean, if I pull up my stats here, let's go. Let's say your channel becomes really successful relatively to most YouTubers. And let's say you get like 400,000 views a month. It's not going to bring in a huge amount of money. So you can see here, sometimes as well, YouTube will penalize you for the amount of views you get. And you don't really know why. You don't get a response. You have to check in with their support team, etc. And when you're relying on ad revenue, it just becomes like a treadmill where you're not building anything, you're just trying to keep up your current ad revenue. And that is exhausting. Whereas if you have a course, a coaching program, a service you can sell, some way to monetize your content, just basic ad revenue, then you'll make a lot more money. So that's the first question you have to answer. And the other thing I would say is, like, you can't really fake this, right? So if you don't have the knowledge, and if you're not being authentic and you're talking about something you don't really know about and you're not confident speaking about, that's going to come across very easily in your YouTube videos. And with human nature, we're kind of wired to detect BS. So if you're trying to create YouTube videos about something you don't really know, it's not like creating a blog where you can edit it all the time. You've got to be able to create this content on the spot and talk about it confidently. And then additionally, when you start creating content, it can become like a treadmill. I mean, if you look at my YouTube videos and my channel, you don't have to create as much content as this, but I create a video every single day. And I've created systems, which I'll show you in later modules, on how to make this really efficient to do it in the fastest time possible. But you have to be careful here, because if you're just going to create one video or 2 or 10 or 15 and then leave it, YouTube doesn't work like that, because when you come back, all the momentum you've gained will have dropped. And that's why you have to be prepared to commit to this before you get into it. Otherwise, if you're just going to create 1 or 2 videos and come back later, it's not really going to work that well. Now, if you saw any of my older videos, let's have a look. We'll sort by oldest. You can see some of these videos got 191, 298 views, 136 views. And pretty much that was the case for about 3 or 4 years, where I'd constantly create content. I wouldn't really get many views. I wouldn't get many subscribers. I'm at 32.5 subscribers now, but that's only really been this year. But here's the thing, like I said, you don't really have to care about getting views. You're not here to get famous. You're here to make money. And therefore, even if let's say 1 out of 300 people watches your video, books in the call, and then buys from you, then as long as you've got a good monetization method, as long as you're selling something high ticket and you're reaching the right audience, you can make 6 figures a year from YouTube doing this. So pick the right monetization method. Don't worry about vanity metrics like views. And even if you convert one viewer into a high ticket sale, the ROI is high enough to get a return that makes it all worthwhile. And that's why for 4 years, I just persisted creating videos, even though we were getting basically no views. And bear in mind, these videos actually used to take a lot longer than they do today, simply because I didn't have good systems. I didn't really think in terms of efficiency, and I'd have to create a video thumbnail, editing, etc. I'm going to show you how to make this all really efficient in future videos. So that's why we're not creating content in week one, simply because we have to reverse engineer the goal first and figure out, okay, how are we going to monetize the content? What's the funnel going to look like? And start with that goal first. And then you can reverse engineer, okay, where am I going to send my traffic? I mean, for example, for me, you'll see that most videos I send people to this page right here, booking a sales call with us, because I know that we can convert those viewers from YouTube into sales. And that's basically what you want. You want a good funnel where you collect the email address, where you get a call booked in. And the more calls you have, the more money you're going to make if you've got a good conversion rate and a good offer. And then you just need to figure out, okay, what content do you need to create to find those people who will go into your funnel? And basically, you would answer these questions in this order, right? So first of all, you figure out where you're going to send the traffic. Then you figure out what's the offer. And then finally, you figure out, okay, content you need to create to find those people who will go into your funnel. And with this mindset, you should understand that this is the most powerful social proof you can have, right? Because with SEO content, it's great for sending people to your website, to getting them to convert into email lists, etc. But traffic from YouTube is really warm, simply because they've probably binge watched, 3 or 4 of your videos. They probably like you as a person if they're booked in the call. They're kind of warmed to you. And all of these things add up. And YouTube, as you create more and more videos, for example, I've got 591 now. Well, the more people binge watch that, the more people are likely to buy from you. It's the same for you. If you can get people to binge watch your videos, they watch one, watch another, they're hooked, etc., then eventually, when they're ready, they're going to buy from you. So you have to play the long-term game, but realize this is by far the most powerful social proof you can have. And accept that you won't get many views, but who cares? That doesn't matter. And one thing I wish I knew when I began was that the YouTube algorithm, even if I create a great video and I don't get many views, it's not against me. It's simply because there's so much competition on YouTube that I just can't afford to have any ego. It's got to be like, right, I'll put out some content. I don't care what happens. I have no attachment to the result. And then additionally, set a get out point, right? So you have to basically say, I'm going to create maybe 30 videos. If I don't get any sales or any leads from those videos, then I'm going to reevaluate. So basically, the deal that I have set with myself is that as long as I get 1,000 views per video, I'll create one every single day. And most of the time, I get way more than that. But basically, that's my get out point. As soon as I stop getting 1,000 views per video, I'm going to reassess. I'm going to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, what's changed? What do I need to improve? Have I dropped the ball anywhere, etc.? Is my content engaging enough? So that's an action item as well. Make sure that you set a get out point. For example, minimum 300 views per video, or if you create 30 videos and don't get any leads, then go back to the drawing board. And of course, be prepared for the grind. For me, I put maybe 2 or 3 hours a day into YouTube, but that's simply because I know it's one of the highest leverage things I can do. I know I can reach 15 or 20,000 people with a good video, or I could spend like months preparing for a speech at an event where I only reach maybe 500 people and I'm nervous and it takes up a lot of my mental energy before I get into there. So you have to be prepared for the grind, but realize that as long as you're getting those leads and as long as you don't reach your get out point and you're getting the results you need, it's all 100% worth it. Plus, it's a very fun and rewarding journey that will teach you to become a better marketer along the way. So, a very simple week and simple video this week. But that's simply because I want to cut out all the fluff. I don't want to make this time consuming and boring for you. I just want to give you the action items that get you the results. So, first action item is here. Second action item is here. Set both of those things. Prepare now in week one, and I'll see you in week two. So, welcome to week 2 of the YouTube SEO course. Hopefully, you've done all the actions previously. If you haven't, go back and do them, please. Why? Because they're going to save you a lot of time, and YouTube might not even be right for you. So, first of all, recapping action item from last week, reverse engineer the goal. How are you going to monetize the content? What's the funnel? Where are you going to send the traffic? What's the offer? And what content do you need to create? get those people into your funnel. Now, the next thing as well is make sure you do set out a getter point. I don't want you to be one of those guys or girls who creates like 500 videos and gets about 100 views. Why? Because that was me previously, right? And I didn't iterate enough and go back to the drawing board because I didn't have a get out point. Make sure you have that target set. Make sure you know where you're heading. Make sure you know exactly how much money you're going to make. If you do that, everything else can be easier. Now, let's talk about creating content. The first thing that you want to do is set a 30-day challenge. So, you're going to create a video every single day for 30 days to get the maximum possible momentum in your YouTube channel. Now, the reason most people don't make money with YouTube, or the reason most people are not successful, is they just give up way too soon. Now, why do they give up way too soon? Because they don't lock in the habit of creating content. I mean, creating videos themselves, pretty time consuming. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of dedication, but it's one of the most rewarding and most powerful channels in the world for marketing your business. And pretty much every single person that I know who's done pretty well with YouTube, I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, usually has started off with a 30-day challenge like this because it just gets the ball rolling and it also gives you a much better understanding of how to create good content. So, for example, if you compare a newbie YouTuber who has done one video a week and you compare that versus someone who does a video every single day, you can achieve in 1 month what they do in over 6 months. Therefore, you're going to move faster, you're going to get faster results. And that's probably what you're wondering. How long does it take to get results with YouTube? So this is how you do it. Now, I want to set expectations here. In terms of your mindset, number one, don't expect a lot of views at first. You might have some videos that blow up, but even if you just get a few hundred views per video, that's totally fine. Next up, your first videos will be poor. You will look back and you will cringe at them based on what's worked for me. I mean, look at this video. So, for example, if you look at one of the first videos I created, it's pretty cringe. I'm dressed like Scarface in a suit here. Got a little pocket square over there. Not quite the look that I go for these days. And I've got about 70 views on that video. That's what took me to the point where I'm now, where, we're reaching 40,000 subscribers. So if your first video sucked, that's okay. Welcome to the club. Now, before you actually record the videos, which we'll start doing next week, you want to just plan out the videos first, right? So you want to set up a content schedule with a list of ideas and roughly what you're going to talk about each day for 30 days. I wouldn't draft out a whole script. I never script my videos anymore, but just plan out, okay, what am I going to talk about every single day? And I'll come on to how to do that in a second. Now, there's a few ways you can do that. What I like to do is just have an ongoing list of video ideas like this. And then each day I'm going to record one, right? For example, you can see I've already talked about the core update, auto blogging content, keyword research, etc. These are video ideas I had on my list that I've ticked off now and already recorded. Great. But I've also got a list of ideas that I'm not comfortable about creating right now, or I don't have the time to, but I'll come back to later. And one day, if I'm drinking coffee in the morning and I'm feeling inspired, I'm going to create one of these videos. And the more you train yourself to come up with ideas, the more ideas you'll get and the better those ideas will be. So by using this checklist, you can easily keep track of all your ideas in one place. I use Trello. You could use a Google Doc if you want to. You could use a spreadsheet, whatever you want. Doesn't really matter about the tool, but make sure you have an ongoing list of video ideas. Tick off the ones you use. Make sure you come back to the ones that you haven't used yet. And that's pretty much it. The other thing that you can do to basically get an endless number of ideas for videos is to use FAQs. Now, if you've never posted content before on your channel, you won't have any FAQs or frequently asked questions on your channel to create content around. That's okay. Just go to your biggest competitor, right? Let's say, for example, I'm creating a brand new channel on SEO content and I don't know what to talk about. Well, what I can actually do is go to my biggest competitor. For example, let's say Julian Goldie SEO is my biggest competitor. We'll click on a video like so. We'll scroll down and we'll see what questions have people asked on my competitor's channel that I could answer in my content. So, for example, someone was asking about, can I do a video on mass producing content using Palm API for SEO and my results along the way? So I could do that. So I'm going to add that to my list. Someone else said, can you make a video on Yoast versus Rank Math and which plugin is the best for SEO? That's another video idea. And just by going to your competitor's YouTube channel, you've got an endless content ideas pool of places to get new video ideas. And let's say you've scraped your whole competitor. What do you do then? Well, then you just find 10 or 15 other YouTube channels in the same niche as you, where people have asked questions in the comments and ask there as well. But basically, by building out a list of your own ideas, plus scraping your competitors' channels for FAQs, if you spend a few hours doing that, you're going to have way more than 30 ideas for YouTube content. And this is the easy bit. Coming up with the ideas for YouTube videos, that's the easy bit. Creating the content becomes a little bit more challenging, but In future weeks, I'll show you exactly how to create content in the fastest, most time efficient way. Now, when you're actually coming up with the titles for your content, we'll do more optimization on that later, but basically you want to focus on the show, don't tell method. What does that mean? Well, essentially, if you look at any of my other videos, you'll see that normally what I do these days is I talk about what's working for me. I don't even tell people what to do. I just say, here's what's working for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. And that way people trust me more, plus they get less offended versus if I was telling them what to do. So for example, if you look at these last 4 videos that I've created, for example, like the Google Helpful Content Update, that's just me analyzing what's going on right now. This video right here is showing how I've sold $140 worth of backlinks on my website per day. And I even say in that video, I don't recommend you doing this. Another one is talking about AI link building and basically how I've built hundreds of backlinks and how you can automate it. And the final one is how I'm creating an SEO keyword strategy. None of these things are me telling people what to do. They're just me documenting the work that I'm already doing. And this is why I said you can't fake this, right? Because you're actually going to be doing the work yourself. This is going to be stuff you already do and document, etc. And you're already an expert in. So you can't really BS anyone here. You have to show them what you're already doing. But if you look at the most successful channels, for example, like Alex Hormozy, he's just talking about methods that work for him. And that's why his YouTube content resonates so well with his audience. So what does that have to do with the price of apples? Well, basically, when you're building out this list, for example, coming back to that Yoast versus rank math video idea we came up with earlier, when you're planning out your content, you want to come up with crazy experiments and case studies that you can showcase and entertain people with on YouTube. You can easily do this with ChatGPT plus add in the topic. So for example, we go into ChatGPT and we're like, right, write 10 clickbait YouTube title ideas that evoke curiosity for each video. You don't want a long title. You do want to use like I or my in the title. You want to add some emojis and then you've got your topic here. So we'll paste that in and this prompt should generate some really interesting ideas based on the video ideas we've built out from our FAQs and checklist. So for example, I tried Yoast and Rank Math, shocking results. Or my SEO skyrocketed with this plugin. Guess which one it is? These are all entertaining, curiosity driven topics that we could create videos around. You know, for example, I boosted my SEO traffic by 300%. Guess how? So I'll include this prompt inside the action items for the week. You'll see it in the description. And it's as simple as that. I would dedicate about 1 hour to doing that maximum. Shouldn't take you long. And by doing this, you'll have enough content ideas for your 30-day challenge and you'll be good to go. Now, the final thing you need to do is make sure you build out your funnel. And I would recommend doing this in the most time efficient way. What do I mean by the funnel? Well, for example, this is my funnel for my agency. People land on the sales page and then they're going to book in a call with me and hopefully buy stuff if they're interested in using our service. The more people we get to this page, the more sales calls we get, the more sales calls we get, the more sales we get, right? So if you want to grow your business, have a very simple funnel that you can send people to directly. Just one page is enough. You don't need anything fancy. How long is that going to take you? I mean, to draft something very basic using ChatGPT and then designing it on whatever web platform you use. I use High Level, for example. You could use ClickFunnels, etc. This should take you maximum 1 day. But once it's set up, you can use it for years as long as it converts. If it doesn't convert, you keep iterating. But it's as simple as that. Build out your funnel. If you don't know how to build a funnel as well, you can check out my conversion rate optimization section in the mastermind. And it includes conversion rate optimization, how to set up email landing pages, how to set up a funnel page for selling services or info products, etc. But this module right here will teach you exactly how. But if you've been following the roadmap from the course, then you've already got that set up. You're ready to go with YouTube and you can just send traffic to this page. So that's it for this week. 2 very simple action items. If you do these, you're well on your way. Plan these up front and everything will be easier for you. So step number 1, plan out 1 video every single day for 30 days. Next week should take you 1 hour. Build your funnel page. That should take you 1 day maximum. And once you've got that set up, you are ready to go and you'll be ahead of 90% of YouTubers who don't know what they're doing or don't know how to monetize when it comes to growing their channel. So thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye. Here's what we've done so far. You have figured out the right strategy for you. You've set a get out point in terms of minimum views per video to make this work. You've reverse engineered your funnel. If you haven't done any of this, go back and do it. Then on week 2, you've thought about the 30-day challenge. You've come up with a bunch of content and topic ideas so you can create content around. You've built out that list and you're ready to go. So now it's time to start creating content. And the method that I would highly recommend in all of your videos is the show, don't tell method. What does that mean? Well, for example, I could do a video where it's just a one-to-one camera like this, and there's no screen, and it's literally just me telling you what to do. But that wouldn't be very good. Whereas what I could do instead, and this is what I'm going to do right now, is show that when I create videos, I actually use the show don't tell method. I show people exactly what I've done. I document all the work that I do, and then I record and post that live on YouTube. And you might think, well, why does he do that? Why doesn't he do the standard talking head bit where it's just me and my face on a camera? And the reason I don't do that is because it doesn't feel very authentic. If it doesn't feel very authentic, people are not going to be interested in it because there's a million other people who can do a talking head video on YouTube. They can talk directly to the camera. They're probably more entertaining and articulate than 99% of people, and they're the ones who are going to perform really well on that. But if you want to feel authentic, if you want to get a lot of sales, if you want people to relate to you, if you want to show that you're an expert, then the show don't tell method is really good. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, for example, if you look at this video right here, what I actually do is I show people a case study of an AI SEO website. It took a massive hit in traffic. And because it took a massive hit in traffic, potentially it receives a Google penalty. Or if you look at this video right here, this tutorial, I basically show people live in an irrefutable way exactly how I rank content in just 6 hours, all the processes I use. I film myself recording the video, and then at the start, I show where it ranked, right? So it's irrefutable evidence that I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about, I'm actually doing it, and I'm not just telling people what to do, and I'm actually just showing them what to do instead. And I think that's the most powerful way to create social proof and build your expertise on YouTube. Now, why would you want to do that? Because the more you can demonstrate your expertise and your authority on YouTube, the more money you're going to make. Simple. If you want to get clients, show that you're the expert. If you want to get more sales, show people that you know what you're talking about. How do you do that? You film the screen and you show that you're doing the actual work. So now you know what type of content to create. Show don't tell method, film the screen, show you're actually doing the work. Now let's talk about actually creating the content. So when you're creating the content and you're doing the 30-day challenge that we've talked about with all the topics you've already come up with in week 2, then really what you want to do is focus on a very efficient, streamlined process. You want to get rid of all the friction when it comes to YouTube, because if you make it hard for yourself, you're going to be less likely to record your videos, and then you're going to be less likely to get results with YouTube. So it's really important to be as efficient and as productive as you possibly can when it comes to creating content. So how do you do that? Well, my favorite way is to actually time yourself, right? So when I create a video, I'm literally going to set the timer and see how long it takes to create a video. And ideally, it's going to take me 1 hour or less to actually record it, and then 1 hour or less to actually edit it. And the thing here is less is more. So you want to speak less, but add as much value as you possibly can inside your content. So if you watch some of my videos on YouTube that perform the best, and we'll sort by popular here, you actually see that in all of these videos, there's not even 1 second of silence. It's all value driven. I get rid of all the ums and ers and all the rubbish and all the times that I'm not as articulate as I should be. And by doing that, my content is more value driven. It's more useful to the reader. People are more likely to watch it longer. If people are more likely to watch it longer, then they're more likely to boost that video in the algorithm from YouTube's perspective. And like I say, you're recording your screen. So for example, if I was a fitness trainer and I'm doing a video about how to use ChatGPT for fitness, then I would actually go into ChatGPT like so and just type everything that I need to, right? And show people how I actually do the work. And finally, when it comes to recording, I use Descript. Descript is a very easy and powerful way to create content. You can just click a button. My camera's already over here ready to record. If you don't have a camera, I'm going to come on to that in a second. And then you record live on Descript. How do you do that? Well, once you've installed Descript, there's going to be an icon in the top right, like you can see right there. When you click that, you can record your screen and your camera. Then you hit record, say everything you need to, record all the work that you're doing, and then press stop. Simple as that. Now, when it comes to editing Descript content, once you've made your video, very simple. It's going to look something like this. And then you just go into the video that you actually want to edit, for example, like this one right here, and you can see how long the content is. You can see that it's kind of like a blog post, so it's very easy to edit. You don't need any fancy editing skills. You don't need to use Premiere Pro or anything like that. You don't even need to add any animations or text to the video. Because you're recording your screen, there's lots of stuff going on screen anyway, so it doesn't require any extra editing in my opinion. And then when you're editing the content, like so, you can just delete any sentences you don't like. So for example, if I don't like that, if that's not relevant to me, I'm going to delete the sentence like so. Very easy. If I want to add it back, I'm just going to press Command and Z on a Mac, and that will restore and undo the deletion that I made. And then you go through the whole script like so, edit it as you need to, and it's basically a blog post. Typically, I like to watch this in double speed when I'm editing because That's going to make it faster to edit. And ideally, I want to get the content edited within about 10 minutes maximum. So I would change the playback speed. How do you do that? You can actually go to controls, playback speed to increase the speed of your content. And that's basically it. Now, when you're editing as well, you want to add a couple of effects right here that are just going to make it very quick and easy to edit. So number one, even if you don't have a fancy mic, like I just use an Elgato Wave, pretty cheap mic, about $50, something like that. But honestly, I've recorded videos with my Mac microphone before and just added studio sound to the content. And then the content sounds just as good. You don't need any sort of fancy mic. And if you select all of the content, then you'll see the studio sound option right here. That basically just means that the content is going to sound a lot better. Why do you want it to sound better? Because audio is like 50% of your performance on YouTube. So the better your audio quality is, the better the video is going to perform. But you don't need a fancy mic to do this. You don't need to go out and spend 300. I mean, you could even use your Mac microphone if you want. Just record in a quiet area, hit studio sound, and that will be it. And then the final thing that I like to do with all of my videos is remove the gaps. So this is the setting that I use currently. So I'll go to actions on the video that I want to edit, then go to shorten word gaps. It's going to be 0.7 seconds or more, shorten to 0.1 seconds or less, and then you would click shorten all, right? Now, what does that mean? That basically means that I'm removing any long silences in the content. Why do I want to do that? Because that's going to increase watch time, which means better retention leads to better views on YouTube. And I don't want there to be any sections in the video where I'm just sat there like wondering what to say. Better to remove all the silences. And then if I make a mistake or I'm not sure what to talk about next, or I'm just preparing my screen in the right way so that I can keep, switching from tabs, for example, or refreshing the page, then I'm just not going to talk. And then that will get deleted automatically when I shorten the word gaps in the script. And that's basically it. And then once you've edited, you would go to File, Export, and export the video, ideally in the highest resolution that you can. You want it to be HD quality. And that's basically it. And then the video is going to take about 10 minutes to record. When it comes to a camera, so I use the Sony A7 II, but I only started using that when my videos were taking off and the business was making a lot of money. For you, you might not even need a camera on your video. So for example, if you look at this video right here, they've got 120,000 views, pretty insane. That doesn't even have a camera of me on the video. So you don't need a fancy camera. You don't even need a camera at all to do well on YouTube. And if you do want to just start off and test the waters, you can easily just use your webcam. Like, you don't need anything fancy there. So just to recap on that, this is the world's most efficient and productive YouTube process. Time yourself. Once you've had a few cracks at this, it should take you less than 1 hour to record a video. It should take you 10 minutes to edit. Less is more, like I say. Ideally, you want to record screencasts when you're doing videos. And if you're recording, use Descript, record live, edit should take 10 minutes or less, apply studio sound, remove the gaps. That's basically it. And then with the camera, no camera is fine, webcam is fine. If you really want to go fancy, Sony A7. And then for the mic, I'm recording the mic. Elgato is fine. The Mac mic is fine, as long as you're recording in a quiet area. And always apply studio sound in Descript. That's going to take your audio quality to a whole new level. And then that's basically it. Now, with me, I'm an essentialist when it comes to YouTube. That's how I can produce so much content at such scale. If you look at pretty much anyone in the SEO niche, 99% of content creators in the SEO niche can't produce videos every single day because it's too difficult, too time consuming, requires too much energy, etc. And it's not really worth it for them. So with this process that I've designed, I can create videos every single day. I can make it worth my time. And it's basically an engine that fuels a lot of the growth across all of my businesses. And really, it's all about what you don't do and the power of elimination. So you don't need any fancy editing. You don't need any marketing managers or VAs at first. You don't need to outsource the thumbnails. I've even covered how to do that in this course. You'll see the Canva section. With YouTube SEO, you don't really need to SEO the titles or anything like that. You want to include the keywords, of course, but there's no really fancy stuff there. It's all about click-through rates and watch time. And then additionally, don't get addicted to checking your social media stats. That's something that pretty much every single YouTube content creator wastes a lot of mental energy about. It's a waste of time, wouldn't recommend it. Just focus on the inputs and then measure the outputs once a day. So you might say, right, every single day, I'm going to dedicate all my energy into that. And then I'm going to measure the results every so often, but it's not going to be a high priority. What you don't do is you don't keep refreshing the page like a maniac, trying to see if you got an extra view or not. It's not going to help you. And then, like I say, you want to be posting once per day using this process. Shouldn't take you longer than 1 hour, 10 minutes to actually create the content and edit it. You might spend about 20 minutes creating Canva thumbnails. But ideally, you should take the idea for a video and have it recorded within 1 hour and a half maximum. And then, you might mess around a little bit with other stuff. Should take 2 hours from the idea in your head to actually get the content created. And that's basically it. Now, this is a 6 week roadmap, but the most important thing here is taking action. So when people are ready for me to record YouTube week 4, just drop me a DM, show me that you've done the work, and then I'll record part 4 of the process. Because the last thing I want is to record a whole YouTube course without any feedback, without seeing people actually implement it and take action. And for example, week 2, I can see that only 3 people watch the video, right? So if you really want me to record week 4 of this course, the next part, then show me the work that you've done, show me the topics you've come up with, the content schedule, and the 30 days of content that you've created in week 3. And then once I've seen someone actually do the work and I see that there's actually a demand for this process, then I'll record part 4 of the course. But I don't want to record it unless people are actually taking action and also people are finding it useful. Because if they're not finding it useful, obviously I'm not going to create a whole course around this. So essentially what I do, I'm just going to go Canva right here, is I have these custom templates that look a little bit like this. And it's very, very easy to set up a new thumbnail like this, right? So you can see I've got hundreds of templates right here that I use for my own videos. I probably wouldn't share these just because I think it would be important to create your own and make them unique so that we don't all have the same thumbnails. But I'll show you exactly how to set these up yourself. So you're going to want to have Canva Pro, first of all, and then you're going to click Create a Design, and you shall go to YouTube thumbnail. So you're going to say Create a Design, YouTube, type that in, then go down to thumbnail. And from here, you've got a bunch of templates on the left with Pro, right? You can see all of them have Pro when you hover over the top. So you need to upgrade your account, but it's fairly cheap if you're going to be using this every single day to create YouTube content. And then from here, you can just choose whichever process you want. Now, you'll see there's images of people inside the thumbnails. I wouldn't recommend having people in your thumbnail or images of humans. That's basically what everyone else does. So if you remove that, and then let's say you're creating a thumbnail about AI, you can actually add an element about with a robot or something like that that's a bit more attention grabbing in the right here. And then with this bit, you can just edit the content. So for example, let's say you create a thumbnail on how to automate an AI SEO in 2 minutes to rank number 1. And then you can just change the size of these, etc. Like so. You can play around with the dimensions. And the job here is just to make sure that your thumbnail is as attention grabbing as possible. So how would you do that? Well, you can play around with the colors of the font, etc. Basically, you want your text to contrast with the background. So if we look at some of my previous thumbnails, you'll see that quite often the text, for example, this one, there's yellow text over a purple background, white text over a blue background, etc. You basically want very contrasting colors in terms of the background versus a font to make sure that your text stands out. Design Principles 101. And then you can start chucking in some elements in here, right? So if you type in, for example, robot, you can just start chucking in some elements to make this look as interesting as possible. So if you look at the thumbnails I create, I always have quite a few icons in there just to attract attention and to create curiosity. So if you look at this one right here, this AI SEO strategy, in the text, it doesn't make sense why there's green sludge over the chart or like a warning sign. It doesn't make sense. So people want to click on the thumbnail to find out why. Now, if we actually look at the analytics of this video, let's check the click-through rate. So the click-through rate is about 8.9%. That's a KPI that you want to focus on. If you look at this survey from Databox, you actually see that the average CTR on YouTube is 4 to 5%. This one is doing almost twice the average click-through rate, which is a really good sign. So this figure is based on how many people actually see the thumbnail versus actually click on the thumbnail. And for a niche like SEO to get an 8.9% click-through rate, it's pretty decent. It's definitely higher than my old videos with my face used to be. And yeah, this is just because we use this technique of making things very attention grabbing and interesting. And then what I also like to use is emojis. So if you type in like crazy, for example, you can plug in an emoji like so. You can change the background. So if you click the background like so, click on the background color, and then you can change the gradient, etc. And that's basically it. And then from here, once you're finished and you're happy with it, then you would go to File, Download, put the quality as 100, and hit download, and you're ready to go on that. As simple as that. Now, each time you publish a video, you want your thumbnail to look different, right? So obviously we use templates, but you'll see that every 7 days, the color is typically different. So it's like purple, blue, then different color, different color, different color, different color, etc. So every 7 days, I kind of rotate the colors to make the thumbnails look very different. I try and just use the keywords from the video that people will be interested in. So free stands out, AI SEO tool, any crazy figures you can pull out like 0 to 92K keywords, rank number one, etc. These crazy charts look pretty well if you can pull them in for your niche, and basically do everything you can to create a curiosity driven and attention grabbing thumbnail that people are very interested in clicking. And I think a lot of people do like the thumbnails. If I look at this tweet, for example, someone mentioned me on Twitter here, and they said Julian's thumbnails and video titles make it really hard to skip the videos. And that's basically the goal here. The strategy is to make sure that people will be stupid not to click it. The better you can get at that, the better you're going to do at YouTube, because higher click-through rates signals to the algorithm that your content is very relevant, very interesting, and therefore they're going to push it to more people if you have a good click-through rate. So thanks so much for watching. That was my YouTube SEO course. Like I said, I'll create the final part. If I see people taking action and they're doing exactly what I've taught in the course, then I'm more than happy to actually create the rest of the course for you for free. I just want to make sure the demand is there. And if you want to get a free agency course that includes all the proven agency SOPs, funnels, and systems that I've used to scale to multiple 7 figures for my agency, then feel free to get that. Links in the comments, and you'll basically learn how to increase your profits, revenue, and scale faster. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.